Welcome back. In this episode, we are going to address what does compound interest mean? This is a very misunderstood concept, even by people who work with money, like CPAs, financial planners, and tax attorneys, and you'll see why. But this is important because when you can harness the power of compound interest, which is the first marvel of wealth accumulation, you'll be able to soar financially and be able to double your money every year or 2 years instead of waiting 30, 40, 50 years to double your money. As we proceed, I want to transform your vision to a brighter future, overcome the obstacles that a lot of people have with regards to compounding versus linear growth, and give you the specific action steps on how you can experience compound interest to be able to thrive. So compound interest is what makes the world go round. As a financial strategist for more than 45 years, I've appreciated the fact that Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. It's what actually allows in all types of things with nature, a sperm and an egg to fertilize, and within 8 hours by compounding, by making 2, 4, 8, 16 cells, within 8 hours into billions of cells as a young embryo is beginning to develop. That's compound interest. Let's talk about how this relates to money. You need to first understand the difference between compound growth and linear growth. Linear growth might be taking 20 steps. That's linear. But if you were to double the amount of steps every time you took a step, instead of 20 steps, you'd take over 1,000,000 steps. Now, this is what a lot of people do not understand. So oftentimes when I teach advanced continuing education to CPAs and tax attorneys, I'll say, so how many of you understand compound interest? And they go, yeah, and they roll their eyes. We thought this was advanced continuing education, Mr. Andrew. I said it is. And then I give them all a sheet of paper, an 8.5 by 11 sheet of copy paper. This happens to be typical 26-pound copy paper. If you don't know what that means, it just means that this can hold 26 pounds before it rips. Did you know that? Well, I tell them to take a sheet of paper like this, and it has printing, but I don't let them look at the printing. And I say, okay, I want you to fold this sheet of paper in half, like this. And they all do it. And I say, now let's fold it in half again. And so they fold it in half again. And of course, I say, this is hamburger style. See, if you fold it in half this way, that's hot dog style. So we want to fold it in half again, hamburger style. Now, I say, imagine if you could fold a sheet of paper in half 48 more times, a total of 50 times. Now, you physically can't do that. Why? Because of the folds. But just imagine for a moment that you could fold this in half 48 more times, a total of 50. And I invite them to write down on their sheet of paper their guesstimate of about how thick this would be if you folded it over 48 more times. In some form of measurement, millimeters, centimeters, inches, yards, miles. And so these sophisticated CPAs and financial planners will write it down, and I'll go around, so what's your guess? And some say, 3/8 of an inch. Some say half an inch, some say a yard. Every now and then somebody goes a mile, and they get laughed out of the room. Yeah, right, a mile. Now, I understand compound interest. I didn't have a calculator. The first time I did this exercise, I said, at least 2,600 miles. Everybody just laughed me almost out of that room. And then I say, what is this doing? Every time you fold it in half, it's doubling. Double, 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 double. And so I have them unfold their sheet of paper, and I have them look at these numbers. How thick is a sheet of copy paper? oh, 5/1000ths of an inch thick. But if you folded it over just 20 times, do you know how thick that would be? It would be nearly 1 mile high. That's just 20 times. It's 1,048,000 times thicker because 1 doubles to 2, to 4, to 8, to 16, to 32, to 64, 128, 256, 512. Do you know $1 doubling 20 times is worth $1 million? That's compound interest. And they go, oh my heavens. I told you 50. Do you know if you could fold this over 42 times, it would now be from here to the moon. If you folded this over 50 times, it would be, and they're shocked, 93,647,293 miles high. That's from here to the sun. In other words, if you could fold it over 51 times, it would double again. It'd be from here to the sun and back. And people go, oh my heavens, I guess I didn't understand compound interest because these CPAs were guessing 3 inches and 4 inches, and I'm trying to get them to the sun. Folks, it is a true phenomenon. That is why Einstein called it the 8th wonder of the world. But stay with me because I'm going to show you what Rothschild, wealthy Rothschild, says was the 8th wonder of the world. So let's say we go out for a game of golf. And I tell you on the first hole, hey, let's have a little fun. Let's just have a bet at each hole. We'll start out at 25 cents. And every hole in 18 holes will double the bet. You good? Now, first of all, you don't know what kind of a golfer I am. But if you did that and you started out at 25 cents on the first hole, do you know what the 18th hole bet would be? Over $32,000. 25 cents doubled 18 times. Sometimes I will test these CPAs after I've taught them about compound interest for an hour or two. And I'll say, okay, let's see if you got it. We have this patch of lily pads. Every day, the patch doubles in size. So if it takes 48 days for the patch to cover the entire lake, how many days would it take for the patch to cover half the lake? What's your answer? Most of them say 24. No, it's doubling. The day before it's full, it would be half full. It's the 47th day is when it's half full because 2 halves equal a full. This is where people don't understand compound interest and they get discouraged and they go, this is taking so long. Hold on, be patient, because as it doubles. So for example, I had many clients when I was a financial strategist helping people to prepare for retirement. And when I finally met them, they had saved and maybe had $500,000. And I showed them how to earn, let's say, 10% predictable safe rates of return. Now, that's going to double your money about every 7.2 years. Well, what happened is that $500,000 in 7.5 years might be worth $1 million. And they say, oh, God, it's only worth $1 million. I need way more than that. I go, hold on, you've still got a lot of time. It doubles from $1 million to $2 million in the next 7 years, from $2 million to $4 million the next 7 years. And they're now age 60 and they're going to retire at age 67. The last 7 years, it doubles from 4 million to 8 million. It made another 4 million as much as it made the entire periods before all added up together. That's the power of compound interest. Double, double, double. Now, the reason why Rothschilds says, well, it's not just compound interest. The 8th wonder of the world is compound interest, tax-free. Do you know if you pay tax of just 25% on $1 doubling 20 times? If you were to look at this sheet of paper, $1 doubling 20 times is worth $1 million. That's if it's tax-free. If it's taxed as earned, where most people put their money in banks and credit unions, you pay tax every year on the growth. So $1 doubles to 2, you pay tax at 25 cents. You only have $1.75. $1.75 doubles to $3.50. You pay tax on that. Do you know how much you'll have instead of $1 million? Only $72,000. If you pay tax of a third, 33%, many Americans pay that much between federal and state, you won't have $1 million. you'll only have $27,000. 2.7% of what you could have had. And that's the way most Americans save. I don't want you to get caught in that trap. I want you to employ and harness the power of compound interest in a tax-free environment. To understand compound interest and harness the power of it for your future, understand the best vehicles to use so that the eighth wonder of the world isn't just compound interest, because if it's taxed as earned compound interest, would you rather have 27,000 or $1 million? So the second marvel is compounding tax-free. That's why I have written many books. I teach a lot of different episodes on how to compound your money tax-free, which is the first and second marvels of wealth accumulation, compound interest, and in a tax-free environment. Then if you want to learn about safe positive leverage, this will exponentially increase the compounding of your wealth. So I invite you to click on this particular episode on how to achieve financial independence, or on any of the links below. You can dive deep in many of the different books and materials that will help you understand how you can then harness the value of compound interest for your brighter future.